have to announce the squad for the T20 World Cup, for which they are meeting today. What will be India's World Cup squad? What is it likely to be? What are the chances for someone like Mohammad Shami or Sanju Samson to come in the squad? What is India's best squad for the T20 World Cup? We discussed that today ahead of the T20 squad selection. India have 6 T20 internationals that they play against Australia and South Africa, and the team will be more or less the same, with few players like Bumrah likely to be rested for one of the series. But like Rahul Dravid said, from here on, the team for the T20 World Cup will play all the matches. So with that in mind, let's discuss what the T20 squad is likely to be. What could be some of the changes? Ashok Malhotra, former Indian player, former selector, joins us, and it's not an easy job, he can tell you. This is a difficult one, Ashok sir, for the chairman of selectors, Chetan Sharma, because whatever he does, he will find critics. It's not going to be an easy job.
It is not, Meha, because the five people have to select the team among billion of people, and all, I mean, there are billion of selectors, billion of coaches. They all have their own viewpoint. So you can't convince everyone. 5 guys cannot convince everybody. So it is an easy said than done job. But the fact is, luckily, most of the guys tend to select them. The difference is maybe 2-3 players here or there. So that is the difference. But when you talk about Indian team for T20 World Cup, then I think that they'll have to do a lot of soul search, what to do now and what not to do. And somehow, and Rahul Dravid is also included. Believe you me, his word carries a lot of weight. Whatever he says, it goes. Selectors normally don't pick the team without the consent of the captain and the coach. So because those two are the ones who have to make the team right. So I think a lot of things will be going on, but as you very rightly said, we have to think about the wicketkeeper batsman, because nowadays everybody is a wicketkeeper batsman. Every good batsman is a wicketkeeper, if I may say otherwise. You talk about Rishabh Pant, you talk about Sanju Samson, you talk about Dinesh Karthik, Ishan Kishan, KL Rahul. We are not even counting him.
Yeah.
So KL Rahul. So five guys who are competing for a couple of slots. So I think it is not an easy job done. And then Shami is a big question mark.
Correct.
If God forbid, if Bumrah is not fit or he's not 100%, then what do you do? So that is going to be a very, very big question.
Yeah, one of the things that has been a wake-up call for India has been India's death bowling efforts in the Asia Cup. That's something that we've been talking about. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who's been really good for the team throughout the year, in a crunch situation in 2 matches in the death over, struggled, and overall also his economy is on the higher side in comparison to who's been the best death over specialist, Arshdeep Singh. We're going to look into all of this, but first let's put the probable squad for you. Now, like Ashok sir said, and like I have been saying throughout, most of the team is decided, but there are a few selection headaches for the selectors and for Rahul Dravid and the team management. So let's take a look at the probable squad. Pretty much along expected lines. I don't see too many changes from the team that went for the Asia Cup, except for some of the players who are returning after injury, one being Jasprit Bumrah, the other being Harshal Patel. But you look at that squad, I think batting is pretty much settled. Now, the news that I'm getting is that there is going to be a discussion on Rishabh Pant. He was given an opportunity, and this from everybody saying that Rishabh Pant needs to play. It's a different thing that his position at where they played him, that could have been an issue. But overall, Rishabh Pant, is he going to play? He's been given enough opportunities. He hasn't been impressive. So will he play? That's the big question. And if he doesn't play, should Sanju Samson come in, or will it be Ishan Kishan, who really was their backup opener for a really long time in the first half of this year and then was suddenly dropped? No reasons given, suddenly dropped, suddenly finds himself out of favor. But this is the likely team. Ravindra Jadeja getting injured at at a time when, you know, it was most important. He would have made such a difference to this team. He's become such a three-dimensional player. He's not there. Akshar Patel in his place. Deepak Hooda is going to be there as well. The other big question will also be on Ravi Chandran, Ashwin or Ravi Bishnoi. Experience versus numbers. Those numbers we're going to put up on your screens in a bit from now. But Ravi Chandran, Ashwin or Ravi Bishnoi, that's another question that the selectors will be discussing. Then the other thing is also Mohammad Shami. Will Mohammad Shami come back? He hasn't played T20 International since November last year. Will he come back at least for the Australia and South Africa series, just to see how he is doing currently, and then probably, you know, the team can think of putting him. But I don't know how that's going to work out, because Ashok sir, I mean, Mohammad Shami, I don't know whether he's going to be able to make it. He hasn't played any T20 internationals after, you know, after the World Cup last year. So how will that turn out? He was very good for Gujarat Titans, but we don't know. Let me also just put the top wicket takers this year, and then let's get into our discussion. Let's put the top wicket takers for everybody to see, because that gives you an idea of how they've performed. Your highest wicket taker this year was Bhuvneshwar Kumar, and that economy of 6.63 is fantastic. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, except for what he's done, he's really not the person you want to be bowling in the death overs. You know, keep him restricted to power plays and things might be better for Team India. There is Yuzvendra Chahal, again, 19 wickets in 16 matches. Harshal Patel, 19 wickets in 15 matches, was good for them, but in death overs, we'll put those numbers, he is expensive. Ravi Bishnoi, and this is where it comes in, he's got 16 wickets in 10 matches and an economy of 7.08. Arshdeep Singh, again, you know, left armour, every opportunity that he was given, he's done well. He, in the Asia Cup, went through ups and downs, but overall has been impressive. So those are your top 5 wicket takers. Let's get straight into it. Now, when you look at how the bowlers have performed, sir, these are your bowlers. I mean, except for Mohammad Shami, you've got to be bowling these bowlers. What is India going to do?
See, Neha, first and foremost is the tournament is going to be played in Australia. Why do we need 3 spinners? We probably need 5 fast bowlers there. You know, if anybody breaks down, instead of flying him from India, you should have somebody ready-made. In that case scenario, I think Mohammad Shami walks in automatically. You just said he is probably the top bowler in IPL. IPL is a yardstick for a T20 team. So he has done well. And what has he done wrong? Not being part of the team. You have tried Avesh Khan, 15 matches, he has failed miserably. And why wouldn't you have somebody who's an experienced guy who bowls good line and length, good areas, and now he's bowling very well in T20 cricket. Plus, the game is in Australia, and he knows how to exploit the Australian conditions. So I would add Shami ahead of Ravi Chandran Ashwin. Ravi Chandran Ashwin, I am not convinced till he does not bowl his off spinners. I am not convinced with Ravi Kumble. You know, I am convinced with Ravi Chandran Ashwin. You know, I'm not convinced with who keeps bowling his leg cutters all the time. That is not because you're not picking up wickets. The idea is you have to pick up a couple of wickets in the middle 8 overs, 2-3 wickets, which slows the run rate down. But what he is trying to do is trying to check the flow of runs. So that is not the game plan as a captain or as a coach. That is not the game plan. So I think I would prefer to have, if not Shami, if you're not going with 5 bowlers, then I would go with Ravi Bishnoi, definitely. Okay. Because he's a mystery bowler still for most of the people in international cricket. Plus, he's not done badly the number of opportunities he's got. And Harshal Patel, we're going gaga over it. Believe you me, I'm not very convinced with him. And as his economy rate suggests, he goes for too many. He picks up wickets, but he picks up wickets in the slog overs, where he goes for very many, and then picks up wickets. You know, so I don't know whether you can afford so many runs to be given and then pick up 1 or 2 wickets. That is not vital. So that is where they have to do some rethinking. But for me, Shami has to be in the side, and maybe instead of Ravichandran Ashwin.
Okay. So, Shami in place of Ravichandran Ashwin, you said we should go in with an extra fast bowler. We also saw what happened in the Asia Cup with Avesh Khan having been injured, and then India struggling with just five bowlers, with Ashwin being your fifth, with Hardik Pandya being your fifth bowler. But let's also now take a look at, everybody's saying now, should it be Ravichandran Ashwin or Ravi Bishnoi? Let's take a look at their numbers. I'll put them on the screen for you. And Ashok sir, this is another one with Ravi Bishnoi. I mean, if you look at his numbers and compare it to Ashwin, of course, you've already said that Ashwin shouldn't be on that flight to Australia. But Ravi Bishnoi has done everything. Every opportunity that he's been given, he stood out. His economy of 7, averaging 17, 16 wickets taken in 10 matches. So whenever he's been given an opportunity, he has been impressive. And if India needs that, we've also seen how your leg spinners tend to traditionally do well on Australian pitches. Bishnoi, if India wants to go in with a spinner, he is someone who gets an upper hand over Ashwin?
I would say so. And look at the strike rate of Bishnoi compared to Ashwin. Ashwin has played 5 matches, picked up 5 wickets. He's played 10 matches, picked up 16 wickets. Yeah. As I said before, economy is not important. Wicket taking is important in those 8 overs when the spinners are bowling in tandem. So I think that is very, very vital. And plus, not very many know about Ravi Bishnoi. They still claim as a leg spinner, whereas he's more of a top spinner and googly bowler and much quicker in the air. Unlike Yajuvendra Chahal, who tosses the ball up, etc. So I would go with Ravi Bishnoi. For me, as I said before, I'm not very convinced with Ravichandran Ashwin. And 4 years he was out of white ball cricket. Cooling his heels at home. Now he's warming the seat in the dressing room. He's not hardly playing. If you're not going to play him, why would you pick him? It's better to try a youngster than Ravichandran Ashwin. No use in taking Ravichandran Ashwin to Australia and making him sit with the dressing room. So I'll prefer to have Ravi Bishnoi in case you want to go with 3 spinners. I would still go with five medium pacers and 3 spinners, 2 spinners.
Okay, before we
with Hardik Pandya as a 6th one.
Sure. Okay, we are going to move on to batting in just a bit, but let's just stick with this, because one of the things that that sort of stood out in this Asia Cup performance was India's problems in the death overs. That's something that everybody has been talking about, and despite everything that Bumrah Kumar has done this year, he was found wanting in the death overs. Let's take a look at how Indians have done in the death overs this year, and then we can discuss as to what is the solution for that. Bumrah Kumar in the death overs is an economy of 10.07, 10 wickets, 78 balls, 31 runs conceded. Harshal Patel, Harshal Patel's, as you were saying, sir, you were rightly saying, 13 innings, 8 wickets, 109 balls, and he's conceded 202 runs at an economy of 11.11. He is very expensive. He has been very expensive, and he's coming from an injury. Lack of international experience in that sense, that is going to be a problem there for Harshal Patel. Arshdeep Singh has been your best bowler in death overs. Let's put his numbers as well. 9 innings, 10 wickets, 85 balls, 95 runs conceded, an economy of 6.7. He may have dropped the catch, but whenever Bhuvneshwar may have bowled an expensive 19th over, but poor Arshdeep has done, whatever he could. He has been your best death overs specialist. So, and then the last is Avesh Khan, who I'm sure is already out of the reckoning because he's been the worst in the death overs. And for me, it's that number, 38 balls, 114 runs conceded. I mean, that to me is just that you cannot be going to the World Cup with those numbers. Keeping that, seeing all of this now, the question is, sir, who is going to bowl the 19th over for you in the World Cup? Ashok, sir.
See, 18th and 20 overs are decided with us. because he's done no harm to his talent or his reputation. But when it comes to, I wish and hope Jasprit Bumrah is fit. But God forbid if he's not fit, I don't know whom to go to, because we know Bhuvneshwar can pick up early wickets, but when it comes to slog, he goes for too many, because he's stopped bowling those Yorkers and full length deliveries. He bowls and good length deliveries, which goes for very many in the slog overs. And Harshal Patel, his record says that. You know, people are going gaga over his change of pace, etc. In Australia, these are not Indian wickets which turn square. The wickets which comes on to the bat. So that is where the problem is. So I really don't know. I hope they pull a rabbit out of the hat by having somebody like Mohsin Khan in the team. You know, so he might be more useful than Harshal Patel. But as of now, their mind seems to be made up on Harshal Patel. And it has to be Harshal Patel and Arshdeep Singh, which is you're asking for too much from Harshal Patel. Yeah. Harshal will deliver. We all know that. He has shown his talent, and these 6 games will prove that. But when it comes to Harshal Patel, I really don't know. I'll keep my fingers crossed. And I hope and pray that Bumrah is fit, so he can bowl those 17th and 19th over.
And why do we say Bumrah is the best? We don't need to put the numbers, but just for all of you, Jasprit Bumrah may not have played too many T20 internationals this year, but we know what he can do. He's been phenomenal for this team. Let's put those numbers up. This year, just 3 matches that he's played. 3 wickets, 53 runs conceded, economy of 5.30, strike rate of 20. Even on those 3 matches, he's shown what he's capable of. But it is the career economy of 6.46, strike rate of 18. You know, we've always said this, Ashok said, that we've got to wrap him up in cotton wool, because when he is bowling well, he's brilliant. And even in the death overs, look at that economy of 7.23. So you can bowl him in the power plays, you can bowl him in the death overs. He is not only going to be able to restrict the runs, but get you wickets when India needs. And that's why we need Jasprit Bumrah fit. Now, the word is that he's fit and that he's going to be, I mean, he's available for selection. But we see how dependent this team is, despite all the experimentation, everything that India has done, despite the depth that this team has when it comes to fast bowling, how dependent this team is on Jasprit Bumrah.
Absolutely. We depended on Jasprit, and I don't know why. They have counted out Mohammad Sharma. He has not done bad. Yeah. You know, and he's the only guy who, the way he bowls with the seam up, he's amazing. And in Australian conditions, their ball will dart around a bit early on and first 6 overs. He is your ideal guy. You know, and if Bumrah and Bhuvneshwar Kumar, because of his the way he exploits the new ball, if they play, and then Ashdeep Singh, these should be the 3 guys. But Shami, if God forbid, Bumrah or Bhuvneshwar Kumar, not Bumrah, but Bhuvneshwar Kumar goes for too many, then you can always fall back upon Mohammad Shami, because he's a seasoned campaigner who has done it all. So, so I will go with that. But as you very right said, we are dependent on Bumrah, and he is. That's why he's the #1 fast bowler in the world in every form.
Okay, let's talk about India's batting now. We did the bowling bit first because that's where there were decisions to be made. But batting now for India, what are we expecting from India's batting? More or less set. First, let's take a look at the top 5 performers. Let's put those up on screen. And 2 out of those top 5 are not going to be in that squad. Suryakumar Yadav, a lot will depend on how he bats in the World Cup, given how brilliant a form that he's been in this whole year, striking at 182. He is our answer to AB de Villiers, Mr. 360. He's just changed T20, the game, the way it is played. Then there is Shreyas Iyer in #2 position. Again, Shreyas Iyer is nowhere here. I don't see him in getting into this squad, but he is your 2nd highest run scorer, 14 matches and striking at 142. Ishan Kishan, like we said, in the first half of this year, he was given all the opportunities, but then suddenly just was not selected for tournaments. Then there is Rohit Sharma, 17 matches, striking well, which has been something that has stood out with Rohit Sharma, striking at 143. He's been saying that he wants to play this aggressive brand of cricket. He's doing it himself, but again, it's the average number of runs that he's scoring. He needs to score more runs. Virat Kohli then in the 5th position, and of course that 100 in Asia Cup has obviously, with that he's jumped up to number 5. Now these are your top 5 performers. There is no doubt that we have the batting pretty much set, Ashok sir. Batting position, you and I can talk about KL Rahul, whether he should play or he shouldn't. I think the team management is very sure that they are going to open with him. So there is no discussion there. I think the discussion right now is about Rishabh Pant. Should he be in the side? What are your thoughts on that?
See, Rishabh Pant has not done much in T20, but I still will not drop him in the side because he's a match winner. He can turn any game on its head when he gets going. I know he frustrates the coaches, the management, even the spectators with his kind of play, especially in T20 cricket when he goes at number 4 or 5, field is widely spread out, and he knows the only way he knows is to hit 4s and 6s. He's not the one who can rotate the strike around. So that is his problem. I would have preferred to see him as an opener, but now there are too many people as an opener. So as you said, KL Rahul has kind of decided that he's going to open the inning. Yeah. And Virat Kohli, I don't know which number he's going to play. But despite of getting that brilliant 100, but Rishabh Pant for me has to be in the side. You cannot drop Rishabh Pant. I know Sanju Samson is a phenomenal player. There's no two ways about it. I don't mind having Sanju Samson in the side if you're going to play Deepak Hooda at 7 or 8. So it might not be a bad idea to have Sanju Samson, who's a natural striker of the ball and can play at any number. And the way he's playing off late, he's not a slam bang thing. He's now playing off late. He's playing with a lot of maturity, which might be giving the management the belief that this guy can deliver. And if you want to make a change, with Dinesh Karthik and Sanju Samson, not Sanju Samson and Rishabh Pant.
Okay, so Dinesh Karthik needs to, you've always been saying it. You've been saying it from the time we've started talking about this. You think that Dinesh Karthik needs to be out. So you're, if I just look at now the batters, you're fine with all of them. Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, Suryakumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant in place of Dinesh Karthik. If you want to make a change, then Sanju Samson. Your all-rounders in Hardik Pandya, Akshar Patel and Deepak Hooda. You think that's the team?
Good. I would say so. This is kind more or less the team which gives you a lot of solidity. Which we have players who are good strikers of the ball, who can hit the ball and can accelerate, supposing a couple of wickets fall. They can play their natural game, something like Sanju Samson, who can rotate the strike, who can hit big. He probably is the right, missing link in this jigsaw. And I don't mind having even Shreyas Iyer instead of Deepak Hooda. He's a record. It starts safe for itself. I understand he is a short ball problem, but who doesn't have a problem? But he keeps churning out runs. So I don't know why he is all of a sudden he fell out of favor like Ishan Kishan did. So that is what surprises me. Why? When they're scoring runs, they're showing what they can do. Everybody had a weakness. So if Rahul Dravid, if we wouldn't have made him a wicketkeeper, he might not have been the one-day player what he turned out to be. So everybody has a weakness. So you can't keep dropping guys like a hot potato. So that surprises me. If I would be in their places, it would be hurting me. And believe you me, Shreyas Iyer, Ishan Kishan, they all must be hurting very badly.
Okay, with that, we have to wrap this up. Ashok Malhotra, always a pleasure to have you here on the show. That's it from us. News 9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to. What do you think? What should be what should be the squad for the T20 World Cup? Do you agree with our squad? What do you think are the other changes that the team's likely to make? Do let us know in the comment section below. That's it from us. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.